Maggie, come. Come here.
The dog doesn't want to leave.
Maggie, come. Come on. Maggie.
So after the canoe ride, following this creek, and there's a pretty little waterfall there. It's like a nice swimming hole down below it. It's a lot cooler today. Got a lot of blisters on my right foot from that hot day, so it's all taped up. I'm hoping that it won't be so bad today. Doing about 10.2, and get to a little off-trail site near a pond. Ah, so many pretty things. How the falls splits and falls. We're just a-walking this morning on the rooty ground. Yep, a lot of little trippers. Well, this is an interesting bridge. Just two logs on either side and one in the middle. I don't think I've ever crossed one like this. Well, here we go. That would be Pierce Pond Falls. No lack of water here. Oh, and the cooler weather, what a blessing. I tell you, makes such a huge difference on hiking. I think it's twice again as hard when the temperatures are so high and the humidity. So, if you can avoid that heat, do it. I just passed some hikers that said somebody was airlifted off Chairback, or not Chairback, I'm sorry, the Bigelows that I'm heading towards the other day during that heat. So that was a few days ago. So glad not to be going over it then. Pierce Pond lean-to appears to have its own jack-o'-lantern. Oh, it's pretty small. And this is a really popular one too, because just down the way there's a fishing camp that gives hikers pancake breakfast. So a lot of people like to stay here. But boy, it's right close to Pierce Pond. Really pretty. So much nicer today. Got to do a little forward across the river to get here, but definitely a place worth stopping if it's close to your list. I need to do about another 6 miles today, so won't get to stay here. Well, overall today, a pretty easy hike. A lot of trail like this that's not hard to walk, and cool weather. I can't believe what a difference it makes. It makes it enjoyable instead of suffering. And only got about 3.7 miles left to camp, so should be there in a couple hours. Double planks. Getting closer and closer to the pond. Can hear boats out on it, even though it's a couple of miles away. Sort of funny. Planks are nice unless they're wet, and then they can be really slippery. So I sort of have to watch out for them. Climbing. Pretty day, but it's already sweating. Some of these stones are sort of hard on the bottom of your feet after a while, but it's easier than climbing. Back into the dark woods we go. Yeah, about 4,000 feet of climbing today, so I will be exhausted. And then after that, it's all downhill to the hostel, or relatively. There's no such thing as downhill, totally. They always put little ups in the downs, and little downs in the ups, just to keep it interesting. East Carey Pond. And this is the beach on East Carey Pond. And that is my tent. Yay! It was hard to keep it down though, because the sand doesn't want to hold the tent stakes. So I made it a bit rough. Got lots of weight on it. Hopefully I don't blow away in the middle of the night. Nice easy day. I loved it. Gonna collect some water and look for a place to hang the bear bag line. Looks like there's a little cabin way on the other side, probably. Can't even see it if I zoom in. I think it's probably gonna rain tonight. I'm hoping the tent stays a little bit windy, and the tent stakes don't hold in the sand very well, so they got rocks on each one. But I'm gonna take a little break and then eat some dinner. But good day, 10.2. Started late because I had to ferry across the river, which was fun, and then got here pretty early. But I really wanted to camp here, so I stopped. I could have gone another 2 miles farther to the lean-to shelter, But this just looked too much fun. Hopefully no moose will come by today or tonight. Lots of swamp. So, lots of these boards to cross. But that's okay. Well, two trails. One goes that way. One that goes that way. So I guess I might have to figure that out. Out there's West Scary Pond. At the top of the first 1,000-foot climb. I think it's raining. It's so hard to tell because the trees, when they get wet and it blows a little bit, it drips. So this is one of these in-between times when you don't know whether to put your pack cover on or not. But I think I might, just to be safe. Day 3 over the Bigelows. Way down there you can see West Carey Pond. And this is, I believe, the top of Little Bigelow, and then we have to go up higher on some really steep peaks. Promises to be a slow day. It was a bit chilly last night, but I'll tell you what, it's warming up fast. A little bit too fast. Climbing, climbing. Pretty day. But it's already sweating. Some of these stones are sort of hard on the bottom of your feet after a while. But it's easier than climbing. Back into the dark woods we go. Yeah, about 4,000 feet of climbing today, so I will be exhausted. And then after that, it's all downhill to the hostel, or relatively. There's no such thing as downhill, totally. They always put little ups in the downs, and little downs in the ups, just to keep it interesting. It just gets more and more gorgeous the higher you get. The farther you can see off in the distance. Trees are getting smaller, and I'm getting more tired. But still going. Oh, here's another view up here. We'll climb up. Climb up there and see what that has. There it is. And over there's the 2 mountains I gotta go over. Okay. Actually 3, but who's counting? And then down to the road. Well, here's a beautiful view off the side of Little Bigelow. It's only little in comparison to the other ones. Still pretty good size. Oh, the breeze feels good. Yep. Down, gotta go over all of those. They look so far away. Big rocks. We're going up Bigelows Mountain, Avery Peak. Oh my goodness. 2 miles. It'll probably feel like 10. But slow but sure. So, climbing the first mountain. And we get partway up and that's what we see. Get to climb up to the top of that. Jeez. But for now, it's good. We're in the trees. At the top of Mount Avery. Holy crap, was that a climb. That was a climb that just kept on giving. See how there's a ridge there? Well, you think you're at the top when you get there, and then you see, no, you got more. Down there's West Carey Pond. We came around. Here's all the peeps I've been traveling with. There's Wildflower.
Hi.
There's Grumpy. Oh no. Fire starter. And Bam Bam down there. We are finally at the top. Over the rocks. Up here on this ridge. And the sign says, preserve the fragile plants. So we're pretty much staying here. It's cool though. I won't be filming too much because I don't want to fall. Not as coordinated as some people with the camera and hiking simultaneously. Lots of little ankle turners in here. So I've got to turn my attention back, but just gorgeous views. Oh my goodness. Couldn't be a more perfect day up here. So as soon as we go over that lump, there'll just be one more and then we'll be at camp. Well, that's down where we stayed last night. I am so tired. Stayed in the shelter. These rabbits were running by, didn't figure out what they were. You know, so nervous about food because there was nowhere to hang anything. But absolutely beautiful view up here. Oh, the little clouds going over. Sometime today we're supposed to get a thunderstorm, so be glad to be getting off. Only 5 miles. And there's Smiles. Weaving in and out of all these rocky boulders. Shouldn't be too much of this morning. And then it's down. So we had to climb down that. If you can see how steep it is, probably not. Glad that's done. We survived. Little Horn Pond lean-tos, 2 of them. Identical, and they're huge. We made it, but the downhill was an absolute killer. I'll tell you what. We came from that mountain up there all the way down here. I don't want to do that again soon. My knees and calves are killing me.